Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week 19 of our reading through the Bible. This week I'm going to cover week 19, and then I'm off next week, so we'll wait. We'll skip next. I'll skip reflecting next week and catch up with you the week after that. It's always helpful when I can get feedback from some people before I do these reflections. But this week we continue to read the book of Proverbs, those words of wisdom of Solomon to to probably his son, his children, and that constant kind of relationships that he's talking about. Have wise relationships versus foolish relationships. Those wise relationships that build us up and make us right with one another. Those foolish relationships that are the ones that get us into trouble and cause trouble. That idea of truth and falseness, how to determine which is which, but how to work constantly with that idea of being in right relationship with people and seeing people as gifts from God. So hope you enjoyed that Proverbs, and it finally did get to end with the wife or a woman being seen as the good one, because the last one is the Proverbs 31 woman, the wife who is more valuable than gold. And then we go into the book of Ecclesiastes, which changes the tone very quickly. It is a older man, probably the older Solomon, reflecting on his life as he is looking into the face of death, and what really did life mean? What all of this stuff that he developed and founded is going to go to someone else, and are they going to appreciate it and take care of it like he did? But you kind of hear maybe one of the tradition, or you hear maybe a little bit of Jesus in the garden, knowing he's facing death and asking for God's guidance, and saying, is this really what you want? Is this really worth it? But I will follow your will. So Ecclesiastes has for us that beautiful, in chapter 3, a time for every season, and that idea of reflecting how our lives have those two sides of we have to sow before we can reap. We have to mourn before we can dance. So other things like that in life. And then in 2 Corinthians, Paul's second letter to the Corinthians, we see a lot of Paul trying to mend relationships and to help them understand that it's because he loves them that he wants them to understand fully what God has in mind, and wants them to live that life fully. So he struggles with how it is he can best be of service to them, whether it be to come and actually be with them, or to stay away and send his words of wisdom. So very conciliatory letter from Paul, but yet a letter that has a lot of ideas of how it is we mend relationships and we reconcile with one another. Now, as you get into the next 2 weeks here, between now and July 24th, we will be going in the Old Testament into the prophets. And the first prophet that we see is the prophet Isaiah. The books of the prophets give us those snapshots into the history of the relationship of God with Israel, especially after the time of when the kingdom split, after Solomon, when it split into the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. So usually in the very beginning, the prophet will always tell you which kingdom he is talking to, whether it be the northern kingdom of Israel or the southern kingdom of Judah. You'll have clues as to the time, as to who are the kings from that time. And keep in mind, we've seen these prophets before. They were the ones who spoke for God to the kings. And so you get that the prophets do speak for God. They talk in the first person of God. It is God speaking to the people. They are merely the messengers, the mouthpieces. Keep in mind as you read them, are they often, they are offering a warning to the people about look out what you're doing. It's not what God likes. Then if the people don't heed, they often are approached with a judgment that if you don't change your ways, here's what God's going to do. And sometimes there's room for people to change, and sometimes there is not. So also as you go along, so actually the best prophets are the prophets whose words are heeded and the people do change their way. So prophet does not mean I have predicted the future, but giving people that free will to change. Be of particular interest, or be on the lookout for how people are doing worship. Are they doing it in a way that's pleasing to God, or are they doing it just because that's what we've always done? Also look into how people are doing business, how they are being economic, how they are doing their economy. Is it is it a godly economy, or is it an economy of greed? Also issues of social justice. Are they taking care of the poor, the alien, the widow, the orphan? So these are the issues that the prophets bring up to the people. And the prophets are often countercultural. Things are going well. What do you mean God doesn't like us? So, and also the prophets get asked to do some strange things as symbols of what God sees the people doing. Also keep in mind their relationships with these other powers around them. How are the neighbors of Egypt and Philistia and Assyria and other small nations around them, how are they portrayed and how do they interact with them? So we've got a lot of stuff to look ahead to. Also the time, like I said, the time period. Is this early on in the separation? Is it this before? Particularly for Judah, before they go into exile, after exile. Look for the hope. Where is the hope coming in to the message? And then in the New Testament, we continue to go through several of Paul's letters to Galatians, Ephesians, Colossians, the Thessalonians, and then begin with the person of Timothy, his protege Timothy. So again, as you go through those letters, are they letters of consolation? Are they letters of encouragement? Are they letters of correction from Paul? And you might see a lot of similar imagery and messaging used between Paul and Isaiah the prophet. Isaiah, keep in mind, is actually probably 3 books, 3 different writers there. So when you notice a change in writing and style, that might mean a change of time, a change of message, as well as a change of messenger. So do have a great time the next 2 weeks, and we'll get back to you at the end of the month, July 31st. God bless.